EV sales are down in the US, and a lot of people are tap dancing a little victory jig. EVs are dead. It is the end of the road. They had their day in the sun, and now it is over. But it turns out that is the one data point does not a trend line make. And we are here to discuss that with my good friend Mark from the Tesla Life. We're going to get to the bottom of it, figure out what the reality is. I suspect if you're watching this, you already know, but let's have some fun anyway. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So we are back, Mark, for another one of these. So good to see you, my friend.
Yes, indeed. Glad to have you back on the North American shore, Brian.
It is great. My return journey, door to door, was only 25 hours.
Wow.
But I was able to purchase some of the finest intermittent Viasat satellite Wi-Fi money can buy that you can get for 25 paltry dollars. So that was great. What was really fun is in JFK, my layover, it's 3 hours. That's fine. And then I realized, 3 hours, but I have to clear customs. Well, that's still fine. So we landed a little bit late. We got out of Zurich a little bit late. We had a headwind the whole way. And when we landed, there was no gate available. So we drove in circles for 45 minutes. We literally toured the tarmac for 45 minutes. And I'm just looking at my watch going, it's getting tight, guys. It's getting tight. So then I had to clear customs, which took 40 minutes. And when you clear customs, it kicks you out past security. So now you have to go back through TSA. And I ended up walking almost 3 miles at JFK at a pretty aggressive pace. And when I got to my gate, I was one of the last people on the plane. So I didn't get to eat at the airport. And by the time the cart of snacks available for purchase got to me, there were none. So, so I got just like crackers and stuff. So that was
the layover from hell because you had no time whatsoever.
I've had much worse. I don't blame Delta. I blame JFK International Airport. It's just, and the TSA, the agents are great. The administration is pointless. It is so pointless. And I've had increasingly good. I've only had, and I know we're supposed to be doing a show. We'll get to the show. Don't you worry, folks at home.
We're having fun.
We're having fun. I'm back. I'm barely rested. Let me have some fun. I've only had one experience with a TSA agent in the last year that was not good. And it was 3:30 in the morning. And this kid is screaming at us, don't take off your shoes. Do not, folks, do not take. Okay, son, you guys have been screaming at us to take off our shoes for longer than you've been alive. Don't act at 3:00 in the morning. Don't act like this is some big affront to you. We've been doing this forever. These are not our stupid rules. They're your stupid. Do you think all of us have a foot fetish? Come on, man. Think it through. We're half asleep. Don't take off your shoes. Why would you yell that? Here's the thing. I honestly believe that the TSA is much smarter than they let on because the real security starts before you get to the airport. It has to, because if you're already at the airport, when the questions start to come, it's too late. You need to know who's traveling and act accordingly. So there was a good year where no matter what I did, whether I went through, no matter pants up and tight, pants down and loose, baggy underwear, tight underwear, didn't matter. Every time they'd pull me out after the scanner and just fondle my sack. And it was like, and on one trip, it was so aggressive that I was like almost ill from the nut trauma.
Oh my gosh.
And I made it known on my channel, on social media. Next time they ask, I'm just taking my pants and underwear off so everyone will know. Because I swear to God that I had a friend who did something similar. She kept getting searched. And so she stripped down naked at airport security. And then after that, they never scanned her as aggressively again, meaning they have a database. Someone has a database somewhere. So I just made it perfectly clear This is my next step. I'm going to the airport tomorrow. It's going to happen. Get ready. I hope you're ready to see the skip my OnlyFans. Just come get the show for free, everybody. And never since have I been required to screen like that. So
Wow.
I think that's my conspiracy theory, is that deep down, the government is not interested in seeing full hog. What are we doing, Mark? What are we doing?
I have no idea at this point.
Do you know that EV sales slowdown in the US may not last long, according to the Bloomberglers? Reports of an EV sales slowdown this year have been a major focus because we've got one data point that says it's over. And I don't know about the comments on your videos over on the Tesla Life, but everyone watching needs to pause this video, go over to the Tesla Life and read every comment that's been posted in the last few months and then come back. Okay, you're
Sounds
back.
good.
So you saw the comments. I'm sure you've seen them as well. People saying it's over. It's over. EVs had their day. It's back to gas. And that'd be like when the Titanic sunk, everyone's saying, well, transoceanic travel is over. It's over. See, I told you. We're still seeing growth in demand, just not at the same pace for every brand.
Bingo.
Bingo. And this chart, earlier this week, I was on a show on Brighter with Herbert where he showed this chart and it got me thinking. So we've done a little bit more research, dug a little deeper. But if you look, the trend line is expected to continue. Well, if Tesla's having a bad quarter, and for that matter, maybe GM and Ford are having a bad quarter, how can this trend continue? Any speculation?
It's because really we've had a bad quarter.
I
After
mean,
after the quarter's over, we'll have a little better of a quarter. And after that quarter's over, another better quarter. And all of a sudden we're in the right direction.
and if you look, Hyundai, Kia, up, Ford, up. Some of these are up. Now, Ford going from 10,000 to 20,000, the numbers are still small enough that the data is a bit lumpy.
Yep.
But what I'd said on Herbert's show was that you have to realize that some of these companies can go into regroup mode. When Ford made a bunch of compliance cars, the Focus, the electric Ranger, those weren't programs that were ever meant to continue in perpetuity. They were just one-offs. We'll make our compliance car, get it out the door, and pretend it never happened. But that's not where they are now. The Lightning is honestly a resounding success in every way except the fact that it's too expensive to build. They are working on a from the ground up electric truck. They're working on a line of electric cars that are from the ground up. The Mach-E is a clean slate design. It's not a gas car that they electrified. And as a result, it has fans, it has followers, it has clubs, it has the wrong name because that's not a Mustang, guys. It's not a Mustang. On the electric vehicles subreddit, a guy said, no, it is. It's absolutely a Mustang, lol. And I said, it isn't. Here's an interview with a Ford engineer who explained that it was actually the electric Explorer. And I got so many downvotes for that because how dare you rock this leaky, creaky boat? Oh, Reddit, could you find a way to suck more? So Tesla's still the only high volume EV maker in the US. So how can this trend continue globally if in one country things are going badly? Well, BEV adoption reaches tipping point in 31 countries. That's a good start.
Exactly. And what you want to see is that those high volume producers of electric vehicles, which at this point is only Tesla, that's what makes the chart bumpy. You've got Tesla that's producing 100 and in that past chart 161,000 vehicles in a quarter, and then you look at all the others added up, don't add up to 160,000. So you've got this
Yeah,
this this crazy percentage that says, oh well, the Ford dropped 50%. They only made 10,000 vehicles. It
right.
doesn't make sense when you have those small numbers comparing it to someone that's producing 161,000 vehicles.
When it's a sliver of your business, it's you can shut the whole thing down for a month and
Yeah.
barely care in terms of total volume. Then we've got this other one. This is one that you found, Cox Automotive. A record 1.2 EVs were sold in the US last year. 1.2 million EVs. Did I say 1.2 or 1.2
You
million?
1.2, you said. So 1.2 million is probably the better way
It's
to go.
probably closer. I think. I know Toyota plans to sell 1.2 electric vehicles.
Who's buying the point 2 vehicle? That's my question.
It's a hybrid with a 5 kilowatt hour pack. But good news, it qualifies for the incentive. What?
Boom.
How do you do that? So we're looking at this and we're seeing that even in the US, even after a bad year, it's still up. It's still growing. Of course, Model Y accounted for 33% of all EVs sold, which doesn't surprise me. And here's, well, this is, boy, talk about a lazy chart.
Yep.
EV share of total brand sales. Boy, isn't that great? Toyota got to 0.5%. So they could double next quarter and it would still just be a rounding error.
Yep. Toyota's still back in 2010.
Yeah, even Subaru, with the same number of cars but a third the volume, is 3 times higher. So that's exciting. Nissan, 2%. With that early success of the Leaf, I was just sure that by today they'd be in the top 3, 4.
They've squandered the lead.
Very disappointing. BMW, though, 12.5%. Now you'll notice that over on the right side of the chart here, BMW, VW, Mercedes, Audi. What do those 4 brands have in common?
All German.
Germany is going all electric. They have to transition or they will die. And they know that. And they are trying to get their legislators, their lawmakers to extend the deadline. But even they know that they cannot kill it completely. American automakers, US automakers, really all North American automakers are trying to find uh, some way to cling to the past. They are not
Yep.
fully on board with the fact that if you wish to remain a global brand, you're going to have to make cars that you can sell on the globe.
Yep. That means making a compelling car that's price effective.
Yeah.
That's going to entice a consumer to buy.
Yeah. Q1 2024, over 3 million electric vehicles sold worldwide. It grew in this bad quarter. It grew by 21% year over year. This is happening.
That sounds like a shriveling up, disappearing market to me.
So sad. Where did we go wrong? It's up 31% in China. That's making a big chunk of it. China has very aggressive targets for it. And then we're going to go ahead and look at Forbes, which I don't like to do because they paywall so aggressively. And when you do get behind the paywall, $50 a year, get out of here. It looks terrible. The vibes lie. Electric vehicles accelerate towards 50% of global sales. You feeling the vibe, Mark?
Apparently not. This is terrible. How can you report on the vibe?
Well, by doing
Isn't
lazy
that
stuff like this, clean energy
isn't
and Mark Twain aren't usually connected, but paraphrasing his famous quote is apt. The reports of electric vehicle sales deaths are greatly exaggerated. That sounds like the opening of a high school essay. The Webster's Dictionary defines electric vehicle. Okay. 2024 makes vibes-based reporting.
there we are
Oh,
again.
oh, what was the name of that song Elon made? Do you remember Elon Musk song? Uh, Boy, there's just a whole lot of wrong things, but it was something like "Don't harsh my vibe, don't doubt your vibe." There it is. That's super uh, valuable to this conversation. See, that's the research I bring, Mark. I am
There's the
here.
vibe. There it is.
I am here for it. But if we look at this, reporting on the demise of EV sales looks silly. Global EV sales could hit 17 million this year, meaning more than 1 in 5 cars sold worldwide will be electric. We're not talking 2030 anymore. We're talking this year. This year, which is almost halfway done. That's magical to me. shiploads of oil that will not need to be burnt because of this.
Absolutely. Because
And
every
it's
year it just compounds and it becomes, you get another 17 million vehicles sold. And then guess what? Last year there was 10 million. And the year before that, there was 5 million. And all those vehicles are still in operation and still not burning gas.
Did you know that you want to know a country that's got the very lowest expected growth in EVs next year? Norway, because
Already done.
they will be at 100% next
Exactly.
year. 2025 is their phase out year. And
Wow.
that means new gas stations are no longer being built. Old ones are not as likely to be renovated. The number will begin to decline forever.
Wow. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
And it's happening. It is the real deal. And so, yeah, at every market is seeing it grow. Guys, we're just hanging out here. I don't even know what we're doing. We're just having a good time. Looking at charts. This is this is what my life has become, and I'm here for it. I am perfectly happy with it. Uh, on a slightly different note, Mark shared this with me, and I thought it was worth mentioning at least. Porsche unveils new hybrid 911 with eye-watering price tag after EV-only versions of sports cars flop. Have they flopped?
Oh my gosh. In the article, guess that this is a Porsche article, but they quote BMW cars. And it's like, doesn't the Porsche have the Taycan? Not mentioned anywhere in the article. Not even mentioned.
Hmm.
But of course the BMW i8 was a flop. And it's like, what are you people doing? I don't understand why you're drawing this thing about a BMW i8 was a failure. Why don't you mention about your success with your own Taycan? No, not mentioned.
Not mentioned. But the sales are doing bad. Porsche Taycan sales reached a new record in Q4.
Maybe that's why they couldn't mention it, because it doesn't go with the narrative of what they were pushing in the article.
Uh, so down 12% year over year, while the total volume is up 3.3%. So it can be seasonally adjusted, but part of it is I think Porsche buyers want the new hotness all the time. That's why their models change regularly. But I don't know that the design is now a few years old. Maybe people aren't as excited. Maybe they're waiting for the next iteration of turbo. By the way, I forgot. I was going to ask, are you a fan of ugly charts that are hard to read?
That's my favorite chart.
Well, then we've got one right here for you because this is hard to read. Uh 2023. No, the trend is still pretty good. This is so hard to read, you guys. What are you doing? Don't let Chat GPT make your charts. Uh-huh. This is boy. That these are not better. These are not better. Uh I think we've gone
I
already
think we've
too
charted out
I think
completely.
I think we have. they they really they really charted this. They charted this article out. So you guys in the comments, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Do me a favor if you would head over to The Tesla Life. They do some great work. I'm obviously a big fan, in case you couldn't tell. Um, and definitely don't tell people because it's very embarrassing. It's shameful. It's my guilty pleasure harassing Patrick. The ghost of Patrick. It was crazy. They had a technical problem maybe a month or so ago now, where they couldn't Patrick couldn't see it, but he was just not there. He was a disembodied voice, and he's like, "But I'm looking at my screen and I'm here." You're like, well, I'm looking at the internet. You are not. So, but I did have a chance to confirm in person that he is not
He does
AI.
exist.
He does exist.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I've posted pictures. I got to meet Roland Percher, who you may see on X as one of the chart wizards. He makes some fantastic charts, and I got to meet him in person. And I posted a picture saying proof that he's not fake, and then it was pointed out to me that just proves you're both fake. It's like, oh, it does. We're equally CGI. Fair. It's a fair point. So, yeah, What did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Leave it into the comments below. Stay tuned and juicy, all the things you must do if you get an opportunity to consider it. The reason I'm able to do those trips to meet those people, to get out in front of all those experts, is through your support on Patreon as a patron, on YouTube as a channel member, or X as a subscriber. All these things help tremendously because what I do is expensive and I have not yet sold my soul to the devil, which is, of course, is YouTube. So everybody else, like, subscribe, smack thumbs, yours or a neighbor's, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the next one.